Can you do, John? Overall, I think Bushwhack's just a great way, and even against the Shaman, it's a nice way of cancelling off that the shackles or the hex setup with the Bushwhack, which is always very nice to have when you are NGX.SEA. John, while we do have a second, by the way, I haven't complained about the new patch yet. I've only kind of briefly went over it. But I couldn't help but notice my Enchantress got nerfed. The Chen style as well. They gave her you can only enchant level 3 creeps and level 4 creep. What a disgusting change that was made to my beautiful Enchantress. Why did they do that, John? Just because EEU picked it up a couple too many times, we gotta suddenly nerf Enchantress, I see.
I mean, we've seen a lot of NGX.SEA as well, although again, only played at. We see a lot from Abing, right? Like some teams still pick it up. Abing's the big one. So, on occasion, you see Tim's pick up Enchantress. So I wouldn't say it was just EU, and it has been strong throughout that. Like Enchant just gives you so much. So it's just way too lane dominant, and I can respect that nerf to an extent. It does take the bite away from Ench quite a fair bit, but it kind of just amps up, say, this impetus build in lane, which is also really annoying. So you could just still go for that and still dominate, even if you don't get the big creeps. That could be a way to play. So the draft does develop. You've got the DK coming through for Execration, so that could be our Bob here still. That could be our Tino here. Some flex between DK and Sand King. Both of them have the same issues against Storm, melee laners up against Storm, but they both can kind of handle it. So you wouldn't mind that too much. I like that NGX go into the Monkey King here. Likely are in your dream here in the safe lane. He loves this Monkey King. And again, you've got a dual melee matchup lined up as well. In fact, it's 3 melee heroes that will have to try to chase around a Monkey King. A bit tough. I mean, AM can jump on top. Whether or not you want to actually jump onto the Monkey King is a different question, especially if Wukong's is up. So NGX, very well balanced draft. They've already got a good saving spell from the Abaddon to get you out of the control the Shadow Shaman, the DK, and the Sand King might want to provide. And that might be a high priority target for NGX for Execration to jump first, just to ensure their chain stuns go through. And as long as your positioning is on point here for, I'm assuming, Boom Boy on the Abaddon, then you should be able to just cut off these ganks very well. Just stall it out, give an opening for your Storm, give an opening for your Monkey King. 2 very highly mobile heroes that can just jump around and set up. So looking good for NGX. For Execration's part though, Mike, I mean, I'd say they have really good push, really good early aggression with their 3 heroes. I still have some doubts about the AM. It can work. It can also fall really flat. But Palos is an AM enjoyer, so it's a comfort pick for him. And I think when it comes down to it, he should know what he wants to get done in this game.
It's the thing though, right? Like with AM, you're going to be wanting to split push a lot. The Monkey King Storm's going to do a great job of split pushing back, so you're not going to have that, great rat Dota that you see with the anti-mage sometimes, I think, because you are going to have the heroes that can address that. I like the MK pick especially because you can catch the anti-mage very effectively, right? Like Boundless Strike into Bushwhack, very easy to keep up the vision on the anti-mage, and even the DK pick from Execration I found kind of strange, because it's like you chose DK into a natural break in the Hoodwink. So they've already got a counter towards that DK, no matter what stage of the game you're in, which I don't know how I feel about that. Like, I know Execration want to be able to push down towers very fast to allow that anti-mage to start pushing out the side lanes and be very annoying. But at the same time, you've got the answers on NGX.SEA. So I guess it's going to be about execution, to be fair. We can't just, go based off draft, but it does concern me a little bit, that's for sure. There's Execration. Yeah, go on, John.
The one thing with DK and AM on the same team is that you can only break one of them, right? So who do you really want to prioritize? Do you want to keep down the DK, whose only job is probably Blink Dragon Tail and the Fireball? Or do you want to keep that AM down and try to burst him down with your magic damage on the Storm, even on the Hoodwink? So it forces that choice between these 2 heroes. You will likely want to actually prioritize the AM, but if you ignore that DK, you could be a massive issue in the middle of the fight. So I think that's the way Execration's looking at it. That's why they picked the DK in on top of the push aspect. It's just that the choice is hard to make, and sometimes having one broken and the other not does give you an opening.
Ooh, I like that last pickup though. I mean, you go for the Mirana, so it should be a mid-Sand King now, offlane DK Mirana combo. I think that's very potent here, and even against the Monkey King, like, he's going to want to come in for the Jingu. You go for the Dragon Tail into the arrow, and you're going to have some amazing stun here from Execration. I think it's a very nice way of, finishing off the draft. And you've got so many stuns available now. Like, you've got Sand King, Shaman, DK, and Mirana, which means they can be very, very active. You just want to create as much space for Palos as humanly possible this game, and it does seem like they're well on their way to making that happen now in Execration with these with the lanes that are be going on. And the Mirana should have a very good game. Like, you've got setup from 3 other different heroes. You've got Shaman, DK, and Sand King. Like, you've got all the setup in the world for some huge arrows. See how NGX.SEA want to finish things off, though. Like, to be fair, it is still against an Abaddon, right? So, assuming the Aphotic Shield is behind you, chances are you aren't going to care about the arrow, but that's just going to put more stress on the Abaddon player of NGX.SEA to try and be sure he's there every single time. As we are going to have one final pickup here. Execration, they actually banned out Terrorblade, maybe assuming that the Monkey King could perhaps be like an off lane, a mid pick perhaps. You just never know with this team. I'm currently still assuming it's going to be the In Your Dream hero, but again, you never really know. Could be anything here for NGX.SEA. Very flexible as a hero, the Monkey King is. Oh, hold on a minute. We've got a Meepo to come out. All right, so safe lane MK, mid Meepo, off lane Storm once again for Mizu. I don't know how to feel about it, John, but Meepo versus AM, we saw that during the DPC. It's not very fun for the anti-mage.
Yeah, it definitely isn't. It's the classic AM counter coming out, and Alacrity is a mean Meepo player, so I don't mind this too much. We've already seen Mizu play the offlane Storm. Again, up against AM, it's not the worst for Storm. First 3 levels feel pretty darn good. Level 6 is the one where it gets dicey with the threat of Mana Void. But it will force Palace to make a choice. Does he really want Spell Shield or Counter Spell? Because if he doesn't opt for it, then the Storm's right clicks are pretty annoying. So have to watch yourself. Do feel like overall, Mike, NGX has managed to find a better draft. I think just having these comfort heroes on hand for Alacrity and In Your Dream is big. Having Mizu in one of his strange off lanes in Storm, who again doesn't need too much, is a great choice. And
yeah.
It does mean that the AM pick is counteracting an off lane, right? So your investment in the AMs to get a big mana bomb on the off lane Storm, not the mid. You have to worry about the Meepo, and he's going to be on top of you every single time if you're not careful.
That he is, Jonathan. I think it's going to be a very exciting game number 2, and I do love a very spicy draft, as we are going to have exactly that for game number 2 between Execration and NGX.SEA. John, would you like to give us your definitive draft analysis, though? Who has the better draft? Who's got game number 2 in the bag here, John?
I would lean towards NGX for sure. In Your Dream, Monkey King coming out, Alacrity's Meepo. Mizu has performed already on that Storm, who again, it might have looked like he died a lot, but that's your job as offlane Storm. Just get your nults, buy space, and then eventually you'll join in some kills, get some snowball gold back, buy your BKB and Ags online anyway. So I'm liking what I'm seeing from NGX. For Execration, a lot of doubts about the AM. They do have really good push coming out. They've got the chain stunts with a Mirana combo, but into Abaddon, it just feels like there's so much counterplay here from NGX as long as Boomboy's positioning is on point.
Oh, Tino. To try and go for a fight here against In Your Dream, but is not going to go for the stun out yet. Neither will Bob. And level 1 team fight definitely feels a lot stronger for Execration. If you do want to go for a Dragon Tail into an arrow, it probably would just set you up for a first blood. Keep in mind though, Boomboy again is going to have the Aphotic Shield, so it's not really going to be that simple. Unless you say get Boomboy with the arrow setup. NGX.SEA obviously know about this anyway, so they're not going to make it that easy. Or just sit back, relax, and get the 2-for-2 bounty rune trade if they can. Still looking around though, Tino. I see Boomboy running up to him. In Your Dream. Hanging around the north as well. Currently pretending to be a tree, I believe. There he is.
The battle begins.
He's just going to walk away. Should be a 2-for-2 anyway. And it will be. NGX.SEA, they'll collect the bottom bounty runes, and that's fine for them. Again, I don't think you want to fight into the level 1 team fight of Execration, and I think that's absolutely fair. And while we're here, we'll start... Oh, hold on a minute. Vincenzo going to be chased down by Boomboy, but not going to have the follow-up for himself. Still fighting, though, Vincenzo. Don't think he can really fight against this Abaddon. They are going to get a very nice D-ward off, though, here for Execration's end of things, and that's going to be enough for them. They'll back off, and while we're here, John, we'll start off at the top lane. Of course, In Your Dream going to be there on that position 1 Monkey King. Be there with Boomboy on that Pos 5 Abaddon, and of course, they're going to be against the combo of DK Mirana, being Tino and Shanks. It's In Your Dream already copping so much damage, but Shanks did not have a nice angle to land the arrow without a creep blocking. So In Your Dream going to be just fine, and now with Boomboy around, you should not have that easy of a time landing those combo stuns.
And Boomboy's just got to find a way to keep cutting them off from the creep wave. Bit tougher in the early levels for Abaddon. And you do get some good right-click trades from Shanks with that early Blightstone Star. Happy to say, Mike, that we've got both personas here. I don't think we've seen this before, so you've got the Mirana and DK from the anime. I'm very pleased. You know, we've been ranting about the anime combo. It's finally actually there. There you go.
Absolutely splendid. Boundless, In Your Dream. Go for a chase, Tino, and have the Jingu Mastery procced on him as In Your Dream's hitting very hard now. Won't have the Boundless to keep following up, but it does seem like In Your Dream. I mean, Monkey King's one of those heroes he really enjoys playing quite a bit in that safe lane, so not surprising that In Your Dream's going to be a little bit aggressive here on the MK.
Yeah, I love this as well, just to point this out, Mike. It is a numbers lane. You've got the numbers from the Curse of Avernus, the numbers from Jingu. Love seeing those numbers on top, so NGX, they're math wizards here, Mike.
Beautiful. You're a math wizard yourself now, Jonathan, with that new smartwatch you got, having a calculator and everything. Goodness me. Well, have a look at the other lanes, Jonathan. Mid lane, Alacrity and Bob going to be going at it. Alacrity, pretty nice in CS, but Bob's obviously going to be a bit better off. It's one of those things, right? Like, against Sand King as a melee core right now, you probably aren't going to win out the mid lane, just based off how strong Caustic Finale is. But Alacrity, as long as he hits those levels, he's probably going to be pretty happy anyway. He's not going to mind.
Yeah, he's still going to be able to farm. He can always catch up in the jungle really, really quickly once you have that divided stand. So you can just work the map really well and start to catch up that way. You do have to watch for Bob reaching that really fast timing into the blink. That's going to be the scary one. There are opportunities to punish if you do get a good angle on the bind. You can just try to punish under tower, but every single time that sandstorm's up, Alacrity can't really gap close. Does ferry out a sentry, so as a way of managing that lane. Bob does not have a sentry in his own backpack. So there's going to be a moment where Alacrity could look for plays, but again, it's just overall tough when the sandstorm's up and running, even with the slight nerfs that spell got.
Yeah, certainly agree with that, John. Of course, down at bot lane, final lane we haven't really discussed yet. You've got Mizu again on the off lane Storm, and Jokam is going to be there on the Pos 4 Hoodwink. In fact, hold that thought, because there is a fight breaking out top lane. Tino, big trouble. Curse of Avernus pop, Boomboy. Going to be able to take the kill. No issues here for NGX.SEA, as it seems like Execration, even with this combo, they are still going to struggle in this off lane.
I mean, it takes a lot of effort to try to go for that DK stun into arrow, and you just have to watch yourself when you're trading with the Abaddon. If he does get that full Curse of Avernus off, it's going to be easy for In Your Dream to run you down. He already has the full Orb of Corrosion as well, so trading with a Monkey King is just tough. Shanks has to really put in the work to find some Sacred Arrow angles, but they've been really disciplined on NGX.SEA to just not give those openings and just continuously find that farm and build up.
Back to the bot lane though, John. Palos, he's not having too bad of a time here on the AM at least, or Vincenzo. Almost going down there with the bushwhack, but Palos now going to move back in, draining all the mana of Jokam and Mizu. That'll be one down, and Mizu, he's out of mana. He'll go for a bit of a fight, but it's not going to work in his favor. Palos able to find 2 kills for his side. There was a great start there with the bushwhack, but Palos, he has the Quelling Blade, and well, bushwhack, it just stops working if you cut down the tree. Very annoying.
Great plays coming out from Execration to punish. They are starting to ride through that point where the Storm might feel a little bit stronger. We'll see what Mizu does off for when he hits 4, but does have the 1-1-1 ready. So if you step a bit too close, Vortex Double Overload is going to be in play. Palos, understanding this, already standing very far back in this lane. Gonna have to wait for that TP in with a regen from his support. And you can see NGX are looking for that aggression. Double null already up on Mizu, working on his turret, already flying out onto the 4th. So, you know, you're still finding your timings here on the Storm. Once again, it's just a matter of managing the AM. Prevent him from having a smooth lane, prevent that build up into the power treads and Battle Fury. And for the most part, they are doing a good job of keeping that in check.
Oh, nice bushwhack. Palos gonna drop again. Jokam. He's just so good on this Hoodwink. He finds very random angles to go for the bushwhack with, and well, Palos, he's just gonna get Vortex right after. No chance to get a counterspell off, and It's a very important kill for NGX.SEA to be able to find.
And again, laning on the AM up against the Storm, you're not going to be prioritizing counterspell for the magic res, so you won't be able to tank through a lot of the spell damage coming out from Mizu. And he's just going to be able to spam out those remnants now. Triple null, going to be able to constantly shove in this creep wave and maybe make it a bit more challenging for Paladins to farm up. You already have maybe a little bit of a stack build-up. Shanks already setting up to kind of set up for the AM and the Sand King. They are starting to make plays onto mid.
Yeah, Epicenter's there. Shackles to hold one down. Alacrity still going to try and fight. Is actually quite a tanky target as Bob. He's gone too far. Alacrity going to be able to take him down. Luckily, you had Boom Boy around with the Aphotic Shield to give him some HP back. Not great news whatsoever for Execration. That was your first Epicenter being committed.
Put that money to good use.
Maybe looking for that opportunity a bit early. They couldn't manage to land any follow-up. Shank's not quite there, huh?
Palos. He's going to lose his courier instead of his life, and that's kind of lucky that Jokam doesn't bother trying to go for the bushwhack. Mizu's not level 6 yet anyway, so you can't really zip in, but now Jokam, he's looking for it. Palos going to get caught. Mizu, can he get the Vortex in time? Not quite. Just not within range, but they are certainly making sure Palos is on his toes 24/7 here down at this bot lane.
Yeah, he's at the point now on the AM where he can kind of hold the lane a little bit better. Ring of Health is on our AM, so he should be able to just find that farm. But quad null's done on Mizu, approaching at level 6 mark. Once the zip is up, all the overloads in the world will be flying out. Again, slightly nerfed, but the damage is still good, and you still don't have that high magic resist on the AM, so have a lot of opportunities for that aggression. Vincenzo is back in the lane, does have level 2 shackles, but it just doesn't feel like a lane you necessarily want to shackle and just right-click. Either one you get, there's always going to be stun to stop you afterwards.
Palos knows he can't go in. Shackles going to hold on to Vincenzo, but again, the Quelling Blade is going to save. Palos, he's copying a lot of damage. Mizu, able to just stand there and keep fighting. And you know what, John? I wouldn't blame Vincenzo if he actually went for a Quelling Blade of his own just to make sure Palos doesn't get stuck with a bushwhack. It's just that threatening here for the AM.
Yeah, would love to see it. Very strong value pick. Maybe he opts for tangos as a short way of getting that done. Not flying either one out though, so not gonna have that save. But it does look like they are much more willing to just have Mizu soak the lane, and Paladins is also already starting to build up. Do manage to get the snipe here on Jokam with the regen, so again, just preventing the bottle top-ups from Bob, slowing down the Sand King midway. Alacrity already just playing in the jungle, 2-level lead, as you'd expect your Meepo to have. So it is ramping up here in the timings for NGX. We're about to hit that mid-game spike where you see the full Dragonlance up. Shank's being chased down a bit.
Yeah, nice boundless, but he does still have the leap away, so he's going to be okay. They won't chase him down. It's been a very kind of even offlane here for Execration, as Tino just about 50 gold ahead of In Your Dream. He did die once to the Monkey King, but still has managed to find his own farm quite nicely. So is In Your Dream. Still ahead of the Anti-Mage, and I suppose that is to be expected considering the matchups. It's been a very hard time for Palos. He's going to have to wait till he has that Battle Fury up before he can really start to escalate in terms of farm. I think if you're Jokam and this Hoodwink, you're just going to try and follow Palos all across the jungle. Never leave him alone, as Palos knows he can't actually farm this jungle camp. Instead, Mizu, he's going to get caught out, Bob, with a very nice rotation. Does secure the Storm kill, and he's got a very early blink up naturally for the mid Sand King. Alacrity has shown up with a Meepo of his own, but they don't have a target they can focus down.
Bit tricky to get that in, knowing that there's so many heroes out from the side of Execration. Maybe they feel a little bit more comfy knowing that the Mana Void and Epicenter is down. So just not finding that overextension for Execration. We play a little bit more discipline. Are starting to play a bit of tag up top. You see that TP out now from Mizu as well. Again, you're at the point for the Storm where you don't really mind dying. Quad null, power treads up. You've got all the mana in the world. You can just make plays, throw your body forward as we saw in game 1. So I don't think Mizu minds dragging 3 heroes bot. It's opening up the other lanes. It's giving Alacrity his much needed jungle farm. And I think if you're Execration, you start to worry a little bit more about that Meepo. We've seen what Alacrity can do if he gets off to a good start. He is set to have a really good blink timing after this Dragonlance, and once that's up, the Meepo is just going to be able to jump your AM every single time, and it's a scary notion for Palos, who, again, has already gone off to a bit of a slower start. still needs a Battle Fury to really ramp up in farm speed here as well.
That he does. Bob, he's going to get a lot of farm here, though. These ancient stacks being taken. Not going to take too long whatsoever for the Sand He's going to get that very early boot to travel up, and that's going to allow him to be very mobile. And again, something very important for Execration this game too is to be able to just keep ganking as Tino, speaking of ganking, may get caught out, but they don't have detection. They did on Boom Boy, but it doesn't seem like he was within range to really continue the chase, and well, they just aren't going to bother. It's too much time for Execration to react, and they are reacting as we speak. Bob and Shanks going to move their way up. They've got Epicenter backup and available, so In Your Dream is going to move in for the creep wave, but there's your Dragon Tail set up into the arrow, and it's going to be that easy. Burrow Strike is there from Bob to make sure that the Monkey King does drop at Alacrity. He's going to rotate on the Monkey, or rather the Meepo. Onto the Dragon Knight, they'll land the break. Tino should drop eventually. Oh, that's a great bushwhack. Jocam! Vincenzo, he's going to try to fight anyway. Shanks, oh, he's going to get caught. A very nice Earthbind out from the Meepo Alacrity. Able to help find 3. Jocam, he saves the day once again, Jonathan.
Oh, yeah. Now, he's been doing God's work on the Hoodwink in this game. And Hoodwink's just been really damn good for the side of NGX, no matter what position it's on. We're able to really use that stun, follow up really well. Bit of a tough time there for Boomboy. He was trying to look for that save onto In Your Dream. They staggered their stuns well enough on Execration that he had to wait for the arrow to come through. At that point, he lost too much HP on the Monkey. They managed to find that big kill. But it's back to that point of our Meepo being a bit too big. He had too much free farm. Already level 11, 3 Meepo is out. We believe the Blink Dagger's coming out here as well.
No, nice setup on Mizu though. Still, Palos being watched right now by In Your Dream. They need +1 though if they want the anti-mage. Bob gonna show up, will go on to Boom Boy, but he'll pop the borrowed time, and here come the TPs. Alacrity, he's gonna be around with the Blink Dagger up. They're gonna start moving in. Bob is gonna be targeted. Alacrity though, he wants the anti-mage, and he should have enough lockdown here to take down Palos, but a big Burrow Strike. Bob gonna give time for Palos to blink his way out, and he'll blink as well. Nobody getting caught by this Meepo. Everyone's fine from Execration. They will back the AM out. Though Alacrity's still going to have a chase around with this Earthbind, finding out the Mirana. Should be at least one, as In Your Dream. He's going to find Bob. Bushwhack somehow does not land on Bob, but they are still going to go for the chase. He'll go for a Burrow Strike back in onto Jocam, but he'll go for a scurry out. Tino going to join in. Sharpshooter's there. Jocam alive. Tino trying to find him. Does get him with the Breathe Fire. He even finds Boom Boy, but it's still going to cost his own life, surely. Is Vincenzo. He's going to show up on the Shaman, but he can do nothing as Alacrity. He'll keep going in. Another ensnare out onto the Shaman. That'll be Vincenzo gone. It might just be an Ultra. As In Your Dream will take it himself. Tips out from In Your Dream. Thank you for the kill, sir.
Yeah, I mean, Alacrity's just been so damn good on this Meepo, and he's always been damn good in this Meepo. Gets a good game for it as well. Execration just not off to the start they want. You're still waiting for Palos to hit that Battle Fury timing, still 2 parts away. Starting to build up. They've been trying to play with the aggression that their Sand King is providing. It does feel like you need that blink on Tino as well to follow through on the chain stuns. And the side of NGX is just ready to go. Like, they can just go farming with a Meepo, immediately send a main Meepo down to a tower, blink forward, everyone's on top of you. And you've got the Storm who doesn't care about dying. He just zips in like a madman, gives you the info firsthand. You've got the Monkey King flying around as well, giving you information In Your Dreams, not spending too much time farming. So your whole lineup's just ready to fight, and they will go for that smoke play now.
They will. NGX.SEA gonna wrap around top lane. Who can they find? Plenty of heroes around from Execration. Tino, he's the main target. Shanks, he'll be around to break the smoke. But Tino and Vincenzo, they're still going. They'll drop the Serpent Ward, so Jocam looking for that setup. Wants the Dragon Knight, I believe. He does have the Sharpshooter up, but they need the heroes to back him up. Vincenzo, no, he'll be targeted first. They want the Shaman gone, and they'll get him. Vincenzo out. Moonlight Shadow was popped, so Tino will be able to make his own way out of the Dragon Knight, and they still found the top tier 1 tower. So all things being said and done, not too bad for Execration. They still get what they came for.
Yeah, they find the objective. They don't stay around too long. You saw the sentries being dropped by NGX. Maybe thinking about punishing Bob, but he just gets a D-ward and backs off. NGX going to be a bit behind in map control. It doesn't feel like it matters, though. They haven't been playing on that top jungle for a while. They've shifted gears onto the triangle. They've started to invade the bot jungle as well. And they've just been more interested in fights, more interested in keeping that farm away from Execration. Smoke out from Exedo, grouped up as 4.
Yeah, mid lane, they do see the hoodwink, Jokan. Not the biggest kill. They'd rather move into the triangle and find somebody else, and they will find Alacrity on the Meepo. They should have great... Bob? No, he didn't see him. They did not check. Oh, they didn't check the Ancients.
Didn't get to check, and there was a ward dropped by Boomboy. He broke the smoke on Vincenzo. So they knew something was up. Alacrity started to back off thanks to that vision, and Execration just not finding the timing to get that swing around. And so NGX getting more time to hit critical mass on Alacrity. Already has 1 ultimate orb up. And
Bot lane Shanks. What can you do? It's one of these things with a good Meepo player all the way back from Dota All-Stars. It's just terrible to try and fight against it. You just get jumped on and you get blown up. I still remember the days when it was all about the poof jump. These days, not so much, but back in the day, you used to just max poof out and just blow someone up instantly.
Yeah, I mean, you still do. It's just that, you know, they've nerfed that just a bit, so you don't instantly burst heroes down. It does take a little bit more time. But, you know, that presence is still there, and Alacrity's still, again, just doing everything he can. He's been handing these kills over to In Your Dream as well. So you are getting that build up on your monkey off the back of these kills. Number 2 network right behind the Meepo. And for Execration, it's still a waiting game. Battle Fury is up on Palos, but that doesn't mean he can fight yet. He will just need to take some space for himself and try to get that build up. The map doesn't feel as open as you'd want it to be for an AM, so he's got to work hard to find that space to build up. I think the big thing now for Execration is they've got the double blink with Tino and with Bob, but again, since that smoke play, they haven't found the angle. Could try again top. Bob is in forward position, but the rest of the team still have to run up there.
They're going to find Jokam, but they want Alacrity on that Meepo, and they are going to ignore the hoodwink for now as Alacrity does blink away. They will have to focus down Jokam, but they can't even find that. He's too early. NGX.SEA, they just read the map very, very well, realizing a smoke was probably happening, and they back off at the exact right time.
They bail out. They know mid was empty. They saw the Dragonite just kind of farming there, then just stopped by the next wave. And GX, they're going to go for their own smoke play now. Alacrity in this one. Blink ready to go. And again, a little bit more durable with that ultimate orb up. Could try to go for a big play.
Vincenzo, he's the target you want to start on. He will try to protect Palos from getting jumped, and Earthbind was flying through, but Alacrity going to settle for the Vincenzo killers mid lane now. They can jump in for a bit more. Tino getting caught out. He'll go for a stun out, but the sharpshooter going to land from a mile away, and they're going to get the Dragon Knight. Can they find more Alacrity? He'll have a look around, blink forward, but the Earthbind not going to land on nothing. Just a bit of a blind Earthbind out from Alacrity just in case, and now Bob TP's to the creep wave and has to cancel immediately. Not great. Not for Execration.
Don't manage to get the defense they want. Still haven't been able to use that double blink in the way they'd like to here for Execration. I think every single moment you're not able to just collapse onto a hero, find immediate control, find that kill, it just feels like you're not getting enough from Execration with this 4 Protect 1. Like, yes, your AM's not under threat from dying. Yes, Palos is farming up. It just feels like you lose too much of the map as In Your Dream scouting for Bob.
Yeah, and he's going to find him. Bob, he'll go for a Burrow Strike. Does have the blink up in 5, but Jokam's got the detection, got the lockdown with the Bushwhack, and got the Sharpshooter for the damage. In Your Dream will pick up his 3rd kill of the game now on the Monkey King, but this game, it's starting to get really out of hand here. Execration, I'm not sure if they can keep up with this, John. When you look back at Alacrity, he's just farming a bit too well. Almost the Eye of Skadi up. But
Alos, he almost dies to Roshan as they're trying to steal it. Does get it away from him. They do drop the wards for this. It is, as you mentioned, though, Alacrity is getting a bit too big. Roshan will help the cause. They'll hand it over to Palos. So secondary life on the AM. I just don't think Palos will be able to get aggressive with that with the Aegis. You know, he's gonna just farm. He's gonna have security from the ganks. So you might be able to be more committed on rotating his 4 here on Execration, knowing that the AM does at least have a failsafe for himself if he is caught off guard. But the game is in NGX's hands. They've got the momentum. They're the ones being aggressive here. And Execration's always the one kind of falling back or losing heroes, and they just need to find a way to use their blinks. They need to get some good vision out and start to punish NGX one by one if they can.
But they can. It just seems like Execration have been playing so passively this whole game thus far. I suppose they just haven't been able to find the angles yet. Tino, not going to get jumped. Instead, Vincenzo does break the smoke of NGX.SEA, and that should save the life of the Dragon Knight, but it may cost the life of the Shaman. Vincenzo won't mind, he's just doing his job. It's still just another kill to go the way of NGX.SEA, and now Alacrity's got the full Eye of Skadi up. This is where things start to get very concerning. If you are Execration as Palos, he's still farming up quite nicely on the AM, but nowhere near the level he needs to be able to fight with his team yet.
He needs so much more items on the AM. It's not like he's under-farmed, it's just that he's an AM. You know, that's the nature of the hero. Needs that build-up. Number 3 in network tied up with a monkey, so again, not too bleak, but just not able to contribute. Execration's still doing a good job of keeping, of stemming that flow here from the side of NGX, not giving a wider lead than they should be, but not finding the openings is concerning. Top tier 1 being shoved in now by the side of NGX. This will allow them to fully control the triangle if they so wish, and it looks like that's the game plan. They've been playing around this area for a long time. They've been cutting off that farm. Execration's forced to play down bot, get Palos some of that laning farm at the least, not under threat, although the tier 1 is there for rotations. Pings were out for the mid. It's like they do want that tower way to open up the top jungle more. They don't have the wards in their own triangle, so could be a bit rough looking for that fight, but they are pinging out the area.
Gonna try Bob, he'll be there to set up. Boom Boy, he's in the front lines. Mizu on the backside, going onto the Shaman. Immediately Vincenzo, he just can't catch a break. He's gonna go down to Mizu. Meanwhile, Bob, he's got Jokam, but he's trapped up in the Wukongs now with the Bushwhack out. He'll try to survive in your dream, somehow alive, but they do take him down. Palos, he'll get a double kill. Not a bad team fight whatsoever for Execration this time around. Massive pickoffs to come, and suddenly Execration not looking too bad.
And that's a bit split up from NGX. Bit of a really forward jump from Mizu, not able to take care of the backline being jumped there by Execration. Just a great angle out from Bob. Doesn't get spotted out by the ward. Going to the ramp and does manage to find a good angle to get his damage off and kill off the Monkey King. He didn't have Alacrity around either, so he couldn't use the damage output he does have to really turn that fight their way. And that does give Exa a little bit more breathing room. You know, Palos is still free down bot, has his Manta up, so the initial Earthbind shouldn't be able to lock in our AM. You will hit the point where you might have that AoE Vortex up on Mizu sooner rather than later. He is farming rather well into the Ags, despite dying multiple times. It's a Storm, still has really good creep wave clearing.
Palos, nice quelling on the tree of In Your Dream, but the Bushwhack again from Jokam. Gonna take down Palos' first life. They'll charge up the Sharpshooter. Alacrity, he's going to be around to lock him down. Palos, he couldn't get the help there in time. Execration, they were trying, but they just could not make it. Great setup there from In Your Dream.
Yeah, and that's really without Alacrity doing much in that first life. He wasn't even there. So they managed to find a good angle. They can still pin down that AM. Again, you still lack items. The Manta alone isn't enough. It's a good save on 1 or 2 spells, but not all of them. And just going back to Execration's draft, Mike, you talked about all the combinations. Shackles into Arrow, we've got the Hex follow-up, Burst Strike into Arrow, Dragon Tail Arrow combinations. We just haven't seen Exa play around it. Like, they've been trying to find kills. NGX has managed to get a good read every single time. And without those openings, they just can't snowball. Like, they have fallen behind on most of these heroes outside of the AM. You have kind of stacked your progression on Tino. No BKB coming out yet. They lose their bot tier 2 now. Bot jungle, it's locked out for Palos. He can play top, but again, NGX is just not settling. He will go for a smoke.
They will. NGX.SEA gonna move in towards that Radiant Triangle. Execration, they'll go for a counter, but In Your Dream, I think he may have seen that. Alacrity gonna turn around Tino. He'll have his smoke broken. In they go. Boundless Strike is there. They found Bob on the Sand King. Bushwhack is out. Sharpshooter gonna be channeled up, and there's Bob gone. You need that Sand King for the team fight. but he goes down immediately. So NGX.SEA will have a bit more to go for right now. Looking for a target in the mid lane. All 4 grouped up from Execration, but they're not the ones that want to aggress. They're playing the defense game right now, and actually they do land a very nice arrow onto In Your Dream in the back, but it doesn't seem like they'll have the follow-up to take him down. He's got his whole team around him anyway.
It's just more time where X is forced to defensively clump up. They do manage to spot Alacrity and the rest of NGX under the ward. Should be able to clear that out with JoeCam now, and they will. So that should open up that tier 2 push on mid. Siege Creep still alive. Alacrity just quacking away with his Meepo clones. Not going to take too long to get that done, and is still going to be in time for the top tier 2 defense for themselves.
Find out. We'll lock him down once. Shackles are there with the wards. It's going to be a lot of damage. Alacrity dropping quite low, but he poofs over to the right side. Still, they've locked him down. They've got him. Alacrity is gone. Execration. This will be the team fight they can take. JoeCam, he'll survive on 40 HP. Palos, though, is still chasing him down, and JoeCam should be spotted at any moment. Mizu is still around. They couldn't see him. Wukong's command is out. JoeCam does drop. They'll find Mirana. As a trade, Shanks will go down. But Execration, they should still be able to keep fighting. They don't have the Meepo up. It doesn't seem like they want to, though. They'll wait for the creep wave and just be a little bit patient. Trying to go after that top tier 2 tower. NGX.SEA going to try desperately to try and defend this tier 2 top. Not going to be that easy of a task as the pings do come out. Palos going to jump in onto Mizu, but he's fine. They missed the burrow strike. Palos still moving in very confidently without the Meepo alive. There's your epicenter Bob getting a lot of damage off. There goes Boom Boy. There goes Mizu. It's In Your Dream against the world as he will chase down Bob, but is forced to get out. So the BKB is going to wear off. Execration. They'll be able to have their private time with this top tier 2 tower now and be able to secure it.
Yeah, just a really good shackles out from Vincenzo that time around on the ball of fire from our DK. The damage was nerfed, but you do still have a lot of AoE presence out from the side of Execration, so you do manage to punish that Meepo jumping in a bit too far forward without his team to back him up. Inside of NGX, they lose an objective. You are starting to get pretty darn big on this AM as well. Butterfly up is going to mitigate a ton of the right-click damage coming through from Alacrity. They're going to need to find a way to deal with that, mainly from In Your Dream's end. And perhaps the Monkey King, it's really time for that 4-4 matchup with Monkey versus AM. And that one can still be a bit back and forth. The AM still has ways to play around it. So Palos is definitely starting to hit into his stride here. As the side of Execration are starting to find some important kills. NGX cannot allow these openings to happen. There's still a lot of play left in Execration. You still have to respect the AM to an extent. And that was a bit rough. Like, Mizu didn't manage to pop his BKB. The chain stuns flew through. If your storm managed to still zip around in the middle and be highly disruptive, that could have gone a different way. You know, you might have been able to hunt down Bob. You might have been able to cut off the AM, try to play with a Vortex, but it just doesn't happen. So let's see how much more Execration can get out. They are still focused in top. Moonlight Shadow looking for someone to defend here.
Oh, Alacrity, he's the last person that wants to show up there right now. They are all just behind the tree line waiting. He won't yet, but he's still moving toward... You can tell Alacrity, he doesn't know if he should go. He keeps going back and forth, but in the end, we'll back off. NGX, they've smoked up around the Roshan pit, but it's still a minute and a half away from respawning. It's just been a double damage rune sitting there at the bot rune spot this whole time. Actually, pings are out, and they are quite on target. Execration. They are still being very patient, but nobody's coming. So they're going to go for a 5-man smoke on their own terms. To the dire jungle they go, Execration. Very confident with that butterfly up on Palos. Tino looking to try and initiate. They're going to find Boom Boy, who does break the smoke, but he'll wrap around as Mizu does see Vincenzo and makes the jump in on the Shaman. Vincenzo should drop here. They've got the control. Meanwhile, Bob dropping low, but they do find JoeCam at the least. JoeCam, he's going to buy back to Alacrity. Makes the jump in, and Palos instantly down. Tino surrounded. Going to try and TP with this BKB out and is going to make it. But they lose Palos without buyback, and Roshan's up in 20 seconds. That is terrible news if you are Execration.
I like the target priority here from the side of NGX. Mizu just constantly jumping Vincenzo, ensuring that he can't get a good shackle on one of the Meepos to get that opening. They catch out Shanks here.
Nice TP cancel there from Alacrity. Poor old Shanks has nowhere to go. Too many nets flying out. He'll go down, and Roshan is now officially up. Alacrity, he just kept one of the Meepo clones in the Roshan pit. Keep that vision going. There'll be no way for Execration to fight this one out. They won't go without Palos. That'll be the second Roshan of the game now, going the way of NGX.SEA. Naturally, Alacrity going to take it for himself. Mizu, he'll take the shards. He wants the overload buff that you get with the shards in the store. And that does affect every Meepo clone, if I'm not wrong, John.
Yeah, it should. So it's one of those things, again, like we saw with the Visage Familiars. It can be a lot of damage flying out from this utility storm. And you are starting to, again, for Execration, their angles are very specific. They need to be able to hold one Meepo down, get the damage on top, eventually melt through, although...
Yeah, Bob forced the BKB TP out. They can't hold him down this time. He'll be fine. That's BKB down now, and if you're NGX.SEA, you might be able to force another team fight, knowing the BKB's down for 70.
All I can give us
Moonlight Shadow
is a chance.
Is there. Execration. Maybe hoping to find someone on their own terms, but not going to be able to spot anyone out. They barely miss out on Alacrity. Still pings coming out towards the Meepo illusions, but they are just that. Illusions here of the Meepo. Not quite the clones you're looking for. And NGX, well, they're not rushing for anything. They seem very calm. They understand they have the net worth lead. No need to throw back the way of Execration if you can avoid it. And one good team fight will lead to high ground. Execration, they'll have a very rough time defending, so I don't think they have many buybacks available.
It's going to be rough. You got to, again, find that angle here in Execration. Try to catch out the Meepo with your really strong single target control. Get the burst down in that window. And do it over 2 lives, which is easier said than done with the Aegis up and running on Alacrity. Execration, and they are still getting this steady build up on Palos. Right? He's been stuck in the butterfly for a while, but is going for his BKB next. Once that's up, the Meepo isn't going to be as much of a nuisance for the AM to deal with. And you can start trying to focus on elsewhere.
Poor old Tino. No TP available. He couldn't BKB TP out. He's just going to have to go down. And it was on cooldown anyway. He used the TP to go down towards the bot lane, it seems. They'll take the outpost back now, though, so that won't be possible any longer. NGX.SEA obviously just wanting to control the map as best they can, understanding they have the lead at the moment. Even if Palos is right behind Alacrity, it just doesn't matter if you get caught by that initial Earthbind. You are as good as dead, and Palos, he needs a BKB up. It's pretty much as simple as that. It's Bob. He's going to get dusted up. Earthbind will be there. They've got the lockdown, but the BKB's out. Bob going to try and reinitiate. Back in on the Meepo, but Alacrity, he's happy to fight. Finding Vincenzo on the Shaman. They'll lock him down. Really trying. Another net out, but they can't go that deep. Alacrity. Oh, he forgot one of the Meepos. Whoopsie. He'll bring the rest in, but he's going to lose the Aegis. Try to get them out of there immediately as they don't have a stun available to stop it. So Alacrity's going to be fine. Instead, they'll get in your dream with a Hex out, but again, they don't have the follow-up. And now Mizu with the Vortex. He found Vincenzo. He found Bob on the Sand King. High ground time. Nothing to stop them now on NGX.SEA unless they buy back, which they aren't quite yet. That AoE Vortex from Mizu, you've got to be very careful against that. One good Vortex, John, and well, Alacrity jumps in with those max level poofs. It does hurt quite a bit.
And it makes it really easy to land a follow-up pushback as well here from Jocam. So you've got chain stuns for days on the side of NGX, and NGX do play a safe game. You know, they don't overextend, they don't have the protection of Aegis. Epicenter was down, trying to chase down the second life of Alacrity. Doesn't really do too much, as we see in your dream. Again, tipping his mid because of his performance. Alacrity's done a great job. He's got the doubled Scotty already up, Mike, so a lot of stats on our Meepo, a lot of HP on hand. Into the Ags. Next, I am keen to see what the dig does. A channel into the ground, dispelling, invulnerable, HP up. Like, that Sounds pretty disruptive. He just jumps in, you drop him low, you start digging on every meepo. Yeah, that'll stall out the fight for a long enough time that in your dream and Mizu can kind of jump in and follow through.
60% health regen in 4 seconds, and they're invulnerable. What kind of Aghanim Scepter is this? Why not just remove him off the map, John? Just get him max HP. Shanks gonna get jumped on. Alacrity's in. They've already blown up one. Vincenzo's gone. Palos, he's gonna try with the BKB up, but he's got nobody to focus down. He's forced to blink away. They at least find Joe Cam, but Bob is gonna get caught out again on the Sand King. Mizu, just all over it. 3 get wiped out instantly. NGX, they might go high ground again. I mean, what's to stop them?
Yeah, no threat of Epicenter. Dragon form is up in the DK when he respawns, but you need that Sand King. Like, he is a big part of these team fights. You don't have that ready, and these objectives don't last too long with a Beepo up here, Mike.
They're gonna get the buybacks they wanted. Jump is there on Alacrity. Mizu will land the Vortex. Bob, though, trying to chase with the Burrow Strike. Palos right in front. Alacrity, he'll turn around. Bob, Palos, they may have gone too far. Palos still trying to run. He's going to be able to blink out. Instead, they'll make the jump in onto Shanks and Vincenzo. Bob still looking for that initiation. There goes Tino. They found in your dream. Can they find Alacrity? That's the big one on the Meepo, but there's your dig out, John. He's invulnerable. He'll heal up. Back out of the dig he comes. Going after Tino. He'll go after Vincenzo first. The Shaman's down. Alacrity's still with him against the wall, and they got the Mana Void. Palos, he'll take him down as Boom Boy. He'll follow. Execration. They find a way to defend. They do defend that mid-rack successfully. They might be able to get something out of this.
Yeah, they've got the time now. They've got the push to get through onto the mid-tier 2. Could try for high ground. There are buybacks ready from NGX, and you still have to contend with Mizu zipping around with his 5 no. Wait.
The balance here.
This is peak performance right here, Mike.
You may not
Synthesize your Ags. Yeah, you may not like it, but this is it. You synthesize your Ags, you put your bottle in the back, and you do this. Woohoo!
Vortex Boomerang, Bushwhack, Joe Cam. Does he have the damage? Palos barely in time with the BKB. Oh, that would have been real hurtful had Palos died there. Well, he was a millisecond off. The sharpshooter just a bit too late to connect. They aren't going to be able to get the mid-racks anyway because, well, like you said, John, 5 null storm. What can you do?
The sad thing, this is what I had to do in my game too, Mike. This is how we won. They try it to high ground. I am Storm. Creep wave dies. If I want to do something cheeky, I just vortex and zip away. You know, it's, yeah. There you go. Ah, Mizu. What a hero, Mizu.
They know how busted this crap is. They're just laughing at it. He didn't even lose a quarter of his mana, John, zipping from the fountain towards that
you know what?
Yeah.
You know, you could be more efficient. Drag the BKB away, it's on cooldown, get another null. Why not?
Well, this is going to be, you know, this is going to be in the major, John. I thought the new patch would address it. They chose not to. Which,
hey, overload damage is lower.
Yeah.
-1 armor.
No worries. We'll just
unplayable.
We'll just run off lane Storm, John. No problem. It's okay. It's not. He can run +5. So why not run +5 Storm, John? You need 5 null. You need 5 null talismans. What's the problem?
You're giving me ideas, Mike. You're giving me ideas. You know, I'm gonna try that out down the line. That's some new tech you've got there, Mike. Moonlight out though. Execration looking for an angle.
Both waiting on Roshan. Roshan a minute and a half away from spawning, so not too long of a timer. NGX.SEA, I mean, obviously, going to be still very cautious not to lose a big team fight. If you get left without buybacks, you can still go and take those objectives very fast as Execration. Has Palos' farm. When he's got the Skadi up, but he's still having pretty big issues here with the Meepo. Especially once that BKB wears off, he's kind of screwed when he gets Earthbinded up. They're trying everything in their power to make this Meepo's life a little bit more challenging, but the smoke is there. And they move. Smoke broken. Boom Boy gonna see Shanks. Oh, Palos. He blinks right in. That's into quite a few heroes though, Palos. Bushwhack will be there, but they won't follow up. In fact, Bob, he's the one to jump in. They're feeling confident. Vortex, not there. Mizu, they have the BKBs out, but Bob, he's going to drop. He gets the epicenter off in time. Alacrity needs to dig right now, and he will. They can't touch him. He'll heal up. He'll be fine. Palos, he's the one in danger. And it's gone. It's Tino. He's going to keep going, but Alacrity's not dying. The dig saves him.
It's playing with the shard as well, throwing his meepos forward with the Vice. Why?
Well, he's got a shovel, John. Why not? He's got a shovel. It makes sense. Just dig.
True. If only our trusty shovel was as reliable, Mike.
Yeah. Don't bring that up, John. Haven't got anything good out of that damn thing in a long time. I keep getting the damn creep every time. Just ruins my tranquil boots every single game. Alacrity, straight into the tier 4 towers. You've only got Vincenzo here to defend. The GG call might have to come out. Vincenzo, yeah, there you go. They call it. They know. They can't defend. NGX.SEA taking a pretty dominant 2-0 victory here against Execration. And while they did do a pretty good job of putting on a real performance here against NGX.SEA, it just did not prove to be enough here for Execration. They'll have to go back to the drawing board, but great plays overall here from this dire end.
And Execration manages to net a nice win for themselves here in the group stage. Their first series win overall, pulling out the Mupo, pulling out the off-lane storm for Mizu.
Twice.
Glad to see that it works, Mike. Twice in a row. It's not a fluke. It works. I don't know what to say. Seeing this here, just again, we see the patch. -1 armor, minus overload damage. Does it really change that fact? No, it doesn't, Mike. And to be fair to NGX, they had to execute really well to get this draft going. Right, off-lane storm feels like it should be punishable, and both times it did have a decent enough lane. Game 1 was a bit rougher for Mizu. Game 2 a lot stronger. Execration, they fell back to the AM. They went for all these crazy combinations with a Marana Arrow, Burst Strike, Shackles, Dragon Tail, but we didn't see Execration play around those stuns often enough. Like, they'd go for a smoke, NGX would back off, and they missed that opportunity to snowball. It really just became about the AM growing big, but it's AM against the world, and AM against the Mipo just wasn't safe. And we've seen a couple of times Palos just gets caught by the Bushwhack. NGX immediately jumps on top, knowing that's the window of vulnerability, and it's just so easy for Alacrity. Even down the line, when he starts to drop low, when he ags up, you just dig and you go back full HP. What can you do about that?
60% over 4. And why does he have to be invulnerable? Like, why can't it be like Nyx Assassin's Burrow, where you can at least touch him? He literally just goes off the map. Like, he's in a what's that OD spell called? The Astral Imprisonment? Like, you're just off the map. Yes. Too bad. You can't touch him. No problem. Anyway, with that, we are going to head off to a 20-minute break. And of course, right after that 20-minute break, we are going to have Polaris Esports against Patriots coming up. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back, hopefully very soon, with our second series of the night. See you then.